Elizabeth I, known famously as the Virgin Queen, faced immense pressure to marry and produce an heir. This expectation stemmed from a deep-seated belief that women were incapable of ruling effectively on their own. The political landscape of the time was fraught with concerns about succession. Elizabeth's death without an heir could ignite a civil war, with factions vying for the throne. Thus, marrying quickly became a societal imperative, but Elizabeth was determined to maintain her independence and power. The legitimacy of her claim to the throne was also clouded by her tumultuous family history. Born to King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, Elizabeth's legitimacy was questioned after Henry's divorce from his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. When Henry's marriage to Anne was annulled and she was executed, he declared Elizabeth illegitimate. Despite later attempts to restore her legitimacy, the shadow of doubt lingered, particularly among certain Protestant factions that continued to question her right to rule. In the 16th century, the prevailing belief was that a monarch should be male. The idea of a woman on the throne was often viewed as unnatural. The tumultuous reign of Mary I had only reinforced this belief, as her rule was marked by violence and chaos. Consequently, many in society expected Elizabeth to adopt a ceremonial role, allowing her male advisors to wield the real power, or, ideally, to find a husband who could govern on her behalf. However, Elizabeth was resolute in her determination to rule in her own right. She challenged the societal norms that sought to diminish her power and refused to be a mere figurehead. Her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of politics and gender expectations showcased her resilience and astute leadership. Elizabeth understood that to truly be a ruler, she had to assert her authority and defy the limitations placed upon women of her time. Ultimately, Elizabeth's reign became a remarkable testament to her strength and intelligence. She transformed the expectations of female leadership, proving that a woman could not only rule, but do so with exceptional skill and effectiveness. Her legacy as the Virgin Queen is not just a reflection of her choice to remain unmarried, but a celebration of her defiance against societal norms and her unwavering commitment to her role as a sovereign. The reign of Queen Elizabeth I was marked by a myriad of challenges, both from within her realm and beyond its borders. Upon ascending the throne, she found herself not only grappling with the inherent difficulties of being a female monarch in a male-dominated society, but also facing the daunting task of revitalizing a struggling economy. The looming threat of a French invasion further complicated her rule, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and anxiety that would define her early years as queen. One of the most pressing issues Elizabeth inherited was the financial turmoil left behind by her predecessors. King Edward VI's extravagant military campaigns in Scotland had drained the royal coffers, while Queen Mary I's lavish spending habits had only exacerbated the situation. As a result, Elizabeth faced the daunting reality of substantial debts, placing her in a precarious position from the outset of her reign. The financial burden not only threatened the stability of the monarchy, but also raised questions about her ability to govern effectively. In her quest to address these financial challenges, Elizabeth discovered that her predecessor Mary I had resorted to drastic measures, including the sale of crown lands, to alleviate debts. While this strategy provided some immediate relief, it ultimately diminished the long-term income from rents that could have supported the monarchy. This loss of assets placed Elizabeth in an even tougher spot, as she was now tasked with finding ways to restore the royal finances while managing the diminishing resources at her disposal. Compounding these financial woes was an outdated taxation system that disproportionately affected the lower classes. Ordinary citizens were burdened with high taxes, while many members of the nobility and gentry cleverly maneuvered to pay less than their fair share. Elizabeth was acutely aware of the need for reform, but hesitated to make significant changes. Her reluctance stemmed from a fear of alienating the very nobility and gentry who were crucial for her support, leaving her caught in a challenging political balancing act. Finally, the economic landscape was further strained by rampant inflation, which wreaked havoc on the lives of the common people. As prices soared, wages stagnated or even declined, particularly affecting the poor and those in urban centres. This economic disparity created a breeding ground for discontent, putting Elizabeth in a precarious position as she sought to navigate the turbulent waters of her reign. The combination of inherited debt, ineffective taxation, and inflation created a perfect storm that would test Elizabeth's resolve and ingenuity as a leader.